appreciation of art, so I thought I could slide through the experience without too many demands. Well, I should know artists better than that. And sooner or later, the demand is made, where the expectation was that you have no right to appreciate art if you're not involved in the endeavor of doing something with it. I sensed danger ahead, and indeed it did materialize. I was on a sabbatical, so I tried to explain to the teacher that obviously sabbatical students don't have any demands placed on them. She didn't understand what that meant at all. The demand was to be able to produce a work of art that in turn we would present at the end of the class. I decided to work with the chalice, the clay chalice. I did that and had great joy working with the chalice. I was unable to fire it, so it was in a very primitive state as the end of the class drew near. It was a snowy day when we were to make our presentation. I braced fast and broke the chalice. And then at the end, I had to present a broken chalice. I felt if I waited until the end, the class might just evaporate, but it didn't happen that way. In fact, if anything, it became more focused. Now on me. Holding up something in my hand that is difficult to describe, even now. But there were two facets that were easy to describe and beyond description at the same time. It was clay and it was broken, very clearly. I elevated it in my hand. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. In graduate art class, and that is my production. But when I raised the broken chalice, earthenware chalice in my hand, something happened. It became perfect. I looked at that through the eyes of perfection. That gesture has been an epiphany to me, to understand the nature of being a priest, a Christian, and not forget. Not forget the unworthiness of it, but not to forget either elevating a broken chalice into perfection. It was a very priestly act of elevation, and subsequently became the lens through which I began to understand others through brokenness and perfection. And now, as I get older and I revisit that epiphany, I see God in the chalice now. And it humbles me to think that Jesus would enter so deeply into a flawed transaction and elevate it to the status of his cross. That gesture never ceases to humble me. Its brokenness, shame, elevation, perfection, and now love. I think there's a sense among all of us that God is truly at work. When among us, when we are pushed to describe it seems to defy our normal descriptions, the way in which we define our life together, frequently in the past in terms of numbers or any other medium. Descriptions seem to be boundless now. But there is one thing that is certain, is God is at work. God is truly at work. I approached a Jesuit priest, Father Bilderley, who works with the charismatic renewal, thinking that if any way we could come to an understanding of how God is at work in our midst, it certainly would be through the discernment of people who pray, such as people who belong to the charismatic renewal, and certainly far beyond that, needless to say. But Father Bilderley is a point of focus. And I sat with him. I said, Bill, is God at work in this day? In such a way that we don't quite know how to define it. And he didn't have to think long before he answered. He said, truly, God is repositioning the truths at night. God is at work in the night. I didn't think too much about it. But then it began to deepen within me. Things deepen slower these days. But our faith, especially these days, is night vision. It is putting on a lens for the night. And once we begin to live with this, then our whole tradition begins to surface along with it. Certainly beginning with Easter liturgy, and all those who become accustomed to the night, and who become accustomed to the journey at night, and the night journey. Many of you journeying through the night. Thinking about this brings us to another place. And who would think that we would find ourselves speaking and thinking about relics, as indeed we are these days, with great enthusiasm. For truly, we have had a visitation in the relic of St. Jude. And that has brought us to our night senses, as we gaze upon its arm and look at the wound, to the connection of blood. During these days of visitation, and continuing, I understand, to Sunday at St. John Mary in the afternoon, life became for us a continuing procession. A procession bringing out unique characteristics among us as Christians, waiting for one another, looking out for one another, allowing people to go first if they need to, and being perfectly patient, as we are characteristically when we It's a night journey. Around a wound, visible, an Easter wound. For that is what it was, and that is the way in which it was presented to us, in that simple, beautiful way, making a wound visible in that unique way. And it did. Sometimes, if a person asks me to anoint them, I never refuse the opportunity. I always carry the holy oils with me. Characteristically, we anoint people with oil in the Latin tradition on the forehead and the hands. I like to use oil a little bit more liberally than in the past. So I anoint on the forehead and then the hand. I've become aware of something happening more recently. The hand that I just have anointed all of a sudden disappears underneath the person's clothing and seeks to find the wound. It's done in a subtle way, a hidden way, but a very definite way, and with some frequency. Finding the wound. To find the wound. The open wound. It may be pre-surgery, so not open in that sense, but certainly in other senses has already become an open wound. And so we invite ourselves, as it was presented in one book for us to meditate on over the Easter season, that it was because of the wound that we find faith. It was because of the wound on the body of Jesus that Thomas found faith. And that indeed is extended to us. It is because of our wounds on the body of Christ and on our own that we seek them. And when we allow Jesus to place our hands within them on the body, or his hand if it's ours, then faith truly enters into us. This is a sacred time to live in. As an elder, I don't like the word being tired, but I do qualify as being an elder, not in the sense of wisdom, but certainly in the sense of age, has brought me to a place of a deep sense of gratitude to God, to be where I am now, and to witness what is happening in our midst, in simple ways and ways like this evening. I give deep thanks to God for this moment of grace and of witness, because I look at my life now more in terms of witness, certainly, than activity. And witness is the place for me to be. Now I am aware that there is a dragon at the gate in our lives, in our society. It's important for us to recognize the dragon and not to allow other forces to dull our awareness of the dragon. The dragon is there. It was told in the Apocalypse that it would. And we can ponder. And that's what we can do. The dragon is enraged against the incarnation of Jesus Christ. As we become revolves around the cross. That is our victory. It is necessary for us, as followers of Jesus, to proclaim that victory once and for all. And as we persist in doing that, certainly rage will increase, but it's impotent in the power